All right, so this is the point where you have 1,000 windows open. Get used to that. You're now a level builder. So you're going to have several things. You're going to have like this window open. It's going to have textures, and those textures get slid into different locations. And then you got Maya, which you can quickly hop into over here by right-clicking. So get used to the hopping around and things. I know some new students have heart attacks within a lecture when you got all these things coming into play. They get so frustrated. It's just pathetic. So you'll get used to it, but just keep in mind it takes a while. So window rendering editors Hypershade, we have this window right here. And then if I need to get back to this window, the folder on my desktop, I can, and then I can click and drag all these textures into the texture tab, okay? And they're going to show up like this because they're 2048. And how to repair that is very easy. You just right click and go back into Maya, and for each one of these I can click on it, go into your first tab here, and then double click, and then they should show up. So this will build a real-time thumbnail within Maya for them. Okay, it looks like I have this one, and this one, but no floor one. There we go. There we go. And if I need to delete one of these, I can. I just hit delete on the keyboard. So there we go. We have this. This is a makeup of floor one. Now I don't have to use either one. You know, I can just use one of these, but I'm going to have both of them in here just to kind of show you the difference. So here's floor one. If I click and drag that over, I'm going to assign that to its default location. Okay. Okay. And some things I like to do just to get the texture down pat is take and make a plane, and assign it floor one. I also like to put the high quality rendering on. I like to throw a light in the scene. And I'll just make that a spotlight. And hit 7 on the keyboard, and you should see this. Here's kind of the rules, and this is the way I see it, is, you know, it's all about how it looks in the preview window, okay? Most game engines really kind of mimic the whole preview window. So what looks good rendered is a different story altogether. Like rendering in Maya, totally different engine, different way to look at things. But the preview is running on the video card anyway, so it kind of real-time mimics what you would get in the game. It's kind of a wacky way to think about it, I guess, but yeah, that works quite well, I've noticed. So here, I want to take this light and I want to take its drop-off ratio and put it a little bit like that. And I want to fuzz out its penumbra, and then go like that. Rank up the lighting. So this is what I see. I see this texture right here. And my job here is to make it look good under a spotlight. And I can keep adjusting this till I get, the whole entire texture like that. There we go. So right now it's very shiny. It's boring. Okay. Okay. So the next equation here is let's look at the bumpiness of it. So let's click and drag this one over to here and attach it to bump map. So this is my atypical bump map, and it's based upon light coming straight down. So if I look at it at an angle, you're going to see this is quite flat. There's no doubt about it. Okay. And also, you're going to see a lot of noise. This is very noisy as a normal map. Subtlety is everything. So let's tone that down. Again, here's the student having a heart attack because I'm in so many different windows at the same time. So here I have this node, my bump map node. My bump map node, when touched, leads back to here, bump depth, 0.25. And that settled it down quite a bit. Okay, now it's bumpy, just not annoyingly bumpy. All right, so let's look at another part of the equation. Let's say I add the other map instead. Okay, so actually what I can do here is I can kill this by clicking on the strand and deleting it. So now it's not attached. And if I want to attach this normal map to it, I could. And then I can assign that to bump map. Now the difference between the bump maps, besides this one is crazy insane, is when you're in here, let's first take down the bumpiness to 0.25 again. But that's never going to solve the issue because really this is a bump map and this is a tangent space bump map. So what you do is on the bump map node, you can drop this down to tangent space normals. And now you can see the difference, hopefully. You know, if I'm at an angle, this clearly looks like it's got some bump to it. Again, let me take off this one, keep that in the back of your head, and then I'll put this one back on as a bump. So see, flat, until you look at it straight down, and then you start seeing the bumps. So that's the difference. If you think about it, this is a very good surface approach to things, and this is a very good displacement way of looking at things. So in case you don't have a displacement area on most game engines, you would probably use a normal map. If you had a displacement node in some game engines, you would probably, and you can incorporate both. You can incorporate the displacement map and then put some surface bumps on the top using this node. Okay? So right now, I think I'm going to use this normal map right here. Okay? Because I'm going to be building lights within the scene. And those lights are going to be baked in. Therefore, I'm going to need the angles that the camera sees in order for those to come into play. Okay? So, that's that. I like both maps. I'm not I'm impartial. So here's the other map. If I click and drag this middle mouse button, click and drag, I can change this to reflect color or spectral color. Okay? And what I want to do is probably the reflection. You're going to see, wow, that's awesome. It's now reflected in those areas. So it's a mirror in those one areas. That's very cool. It's a good way to use that map, but let's use it a little bit differently. And here's how I want to just kind of get you in the habit of, you can delete these. They're not going to hurt you. And let's try out spectral color. A lot better, right? Yeah, but I just want to get you in the mood or get you in the feel of you can delete these, you can play around with these, you can move them around. If you get too out of hand with this node, you can always click here and it organizes it for you. Alright, so this texture is starting to look really nice now. Alright, so go on to the next video where I can explain some more.